seem to think it's Zerg favored as well, which is intriguing. Alright, best of 7 finals because we can. Top left-hand side from Team Liquid, the red Terran player. Give it up if you're cheering on Clem. Looking to be back-to-back Rotti Wardi Cup champ. Bottom right, our blue Zerg player from Clash is Reynor as we kick this off. Grand finals. New ladder maps. Going to be live in a day or two. And, yeah, this cup just because the ESL site was in maintenance, so we funded it up. You guys crowdfunded it up to an $1,800 prize pool. It's going to be around $500, $600 for first place. And that's obviously a good chunk of cash. As they have some... They've been going at each other in the lobby for a few minutes here, so they're just continuing as this game gets started. I just want to take a quick shout out to, again, everybody that's already been supporting today. Probably going to put a Clem Reynor Best of 7 on YouTube, so the obligatory hello YouTube, how you doing? Welcome to the game, and if you do enjoy it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, we really appreciate it. Reynor and Clem having some back and forth, but it seems like they might be quieting down for a few moments time and getting into some build orders, as we have a Reaper on the way to start us off here on Curious Minds. Smaller map, but Reynor was saying because it's so open, he thinks it's kind of good for Zerg. It'll be cool to see how Clem uses it. I don't think we caught a Clem game so far today. We followed Beyond for a little bit, then we kind of just followed Reynor since then. We got into a pretty cool streak of TVZ action that we've been basically casting for the last little while now, so... yeah, I do like this map. I don't know if this map's going to get figured out and it's going to become kind of like just vetoed all the time, but... for now, I really do stand by it. Like, it really tickled my fancy in the, it really tickled my fancy in the, TLMC, the Team Liquid Map Contest tournament when we watched it. And, I'm really glad it made it to ladder. I really think it deserved a chance to be played by a lot of people and to get figured out and to see if we, to see if it really stood up here as well. So, I'm excited as the Zergling speed starts from Reynor. And this Reaper of Clem comes through, just hitting the hatchery for a moment. A grenade goes down, forces that queen back just a moment or so. Just going to be seeing the Reaper backing away here. Just going to see our third CC dropping down into the main base. And just having our Overlord come back up to the top. So Overlord getting up to the top side of this. Just going to be seeing that queen coming around. It is going to be a... did that creep tumor die? No, just a drone that died so far in the game. As we get this continuing. Sorry, my game just lagged a little bit. Quick shout out to Annie. Thank you so much for the 3 gifted subs to Rustic TV, Daily Herbivore, and GND Leo. Thank you so much for the generosity. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alright, well, Ling Speed is coming up. That's about to be finished as we do have the Reaper just poking around a little bit here from Clem. The Ling's trying to get on top of that Reaper and well hunted down. Grenade is good to buy you some time. I mean, it doesn't get better grenade than that. Oh, and Reynor's afraid of where the Hellions are at, so he does pull back with the Lings, wanting to try and improve that early game and not give Clem the early game advantage. Yes, guys, again, these are new maps. They will be on the ladder in the next day or two. They are coming tomorrow, I believe. So yes, these are new maps coming as soon as tomorrow. I know, I can't believe so many people don't know about this after it's been such a hot topic for so long. But yeah, they are arriving soon. And every official tournament will pretty much be switching to these maps from tomorrow onwards. Just going to be seeing our feelings. Being picked away, a couple of drones taking damage as well as our units escape up the left-hand side. Just poking in a little bit. Gonna play Banshee. Smaller map, maybe afraid of roaches a little bit here, Clem. Makes sense to play a little bit of a Banshee opening. Why are they bringing new maps mid-season? Because it's been a freaking eternity since we've had new maps, so what does it matter if they come new season or at the start of the next one? As far as I'm concerned, now is the best time to bring them in because it's going to mean that you have new maps in time for players to play on the ladder with them before the next DreamHack season finals and before all the other next set of big events that are happening over the next month or two, TSL, etc. Banshee nearly gets the drone, but it morphs into a spore and it gets away. So that drone's staying alive for the moment as Queen's pushing Hellions back up to the top side of the map. Banshee getting chased out of here at the moment as you just see our Queens. Ooh, Nelly getting on top of the Banshee. Not quite, though, in the end. As our melee upgrades continuing through on the Evolution Chambers. And Queen's just pushing the Hellions back into the center once more. Bit of back and forth here. Queen's going to get bopped a little bit by these Hellions. Hellions going to keep on chasing forward. Banshees going for a couple creep tuners. Hellions going to keep on trading. The Lings do have to pull away from this. These Hellions putting on some good damage. I think they're going to get the mineral line. Oh man, they're just getting surrounded by a few Lings. Means the Hellions are going to get out alive. Banshees go to the upper right-hand side instead, so they're going to put on some pressure from a different direction. Get rid of one creep tumor, make it two. Going to go for a few more, I'm sure, in the next few moments as a third creep tumor goes on down. Spinning nest building from Reynor in the back of the natural. Our Hellions will get rid of a little bit more creep spread as well. And again, the melee upgrades just continuing on in. Banshees pushed back by the Queens. Gonna get a Spore Crawler down here as well. Well, honestly, I kind of like the early game on both sides, really. I mean, it wasn't super messy for Reynor. He lost a little more than Clem did. Those couple of Queens really add up in that regard. And obviously from Clem, I love that these Banshees are still around, getting 3 more drones, but that's a snipe as that Queen shoots from afar. And now just one Banshee remaining, so a little less powerful than it was previously. Definitely favoring Clem this opening up until now. Tell you what though, Reynor has super quick upgrades, so he'll have a very quick 1-1. A later Bane speed, but let's see how that fights here, because actually, I mean, this fight's going to be interesting because the Hellions are still around. If these Hellions can be effective against the Lings, the 1-1 advantage might not matter as much. Then Clem can do really well, especially because these Banes are going to be slow Banes for a while. Maybe this gives Clem some micro opportunity as he will push this position. Reynor not finding the chance to split any Ling Bane off to the other side of the map at all just yet. We still just have creep spread pushing up through the middle of the map and toward the other side, as you have the Hydralisk Den building on the natural. So getting that going. This Banshee escapes up the right-hand side also. I'm just going to be seeing a few more Banelings just getting morphed in between the bases at the moment. So just getting these couple of additional Banes morphed in. And Marine stem forward. Going to get a couple of creep teamers perhaps. All these Lings up this right-hand side looking to try and jump on the Hellions, so away they go to try and make that play. So now they're going to wrap around the top side as well, so continue to try and get some action going. Just going to be seeing these Marines do take a step forward. Going to go in for the Ling Bane, try and fight it off, make sure they can't do too much. Clem and Reynor stay neck and neck when it comes to supplies. Worried about Clem's upgrades still. I mean, a little late on upgrades initially. He ended up going 8 racks. Usually when Clem plays 8 racks, he isn't afraid to throw down a 4th CC on a follow-up. Right now, it feels like he's just going to stick with 8 racks. As Reynor starts to introduce the Hydras to the game, Clem might want to start pushing with some of these tanks. How many tanks are we on right now? 3. It's not a ton of splash damage, but that's a good catch on some Ling Bane here. Getting a few of those units. Where do you push as Clem? Is immediately to the top side of the map. Ling Bane's going to start running in. SCVs have to start escaping, and Marines and attack showing up to try and hold that position, stop this run by from becoming more than it needs to be. All the way around the south is GCR Marines splitting up. Bane's going to be rolling on through. Bane's continuing to aim for those Marines. Not quite getting there. And a tank shot or 2 will go on the Hydras, but I do think this Hydra line typically does become sturdy enough to hold this off now. And only 1 siege tank. That's going to go down now as well. Resetting the tank count, looking good. And, I mean, there's just not splash damage in this army of Clem. I don't think Reynor needs to go and run into this army right now, but at the same time, if there's no splash, why not in a way? Well, because you're off creep and you're playing against Clem, who can micro like a god, I suppose, but I mean, he's also 2-2 against 1-1 at the moment. The upgrades of Clem are just so out of sync. I actually think that's going to be his biggest issue in this game. It's clearly something that's affected him pretty much throughout. With the upgrades being so out of sync, it's pretty brutal. It's just going to be seeing our Banelings morphing in. And I do believe we're going to have Reynor with this Hydra kind of really sturdy, kind of like backbone of the army. just being unbreakable if this tank count gets reset time and time again. And that's what Reynor needs to keep doing. Dive in, kill a tank, keep that tank count at 1-0. You know, if the tank count doesn't grow, this game is rough. I mean, he actually finds 3 tanks at once now, Clem. I don't know if a couple of those were just stuck in the back, or you know what I mean? Like stuck in the base or something. Feels like that's more tanks than he's had in a long time. He's adding an additional factory. Like I say, usually he's not afraid to add a 4th command center. It's not the norm, or it never used to be the norm with A-Rex, but it's something that Clem started to do frequently. He just put mass pressure on and be comfortable transitioning anyway. In this case, he's not going for the 4th. He just wants to up the factory production, and he is on his way there. But once again, the tank count has been removed. Reynor will have a little bit of danger here, as Hydras were mostly chasing these Marines and off creep. It's never the prettiest of fights, so the Banes are trying to engage either. They're going to try and turn on this again, but Clem finally lifts into the medevacs and evacuates. Does feel like he found some good damage there. Some better trades toward the end. If Reynor could spend his money, he'd be maxed out. He's on his way to a Lurkadon, and that is a surefire way to put an end to this game. Because if Clem isn't going to tech up, Marine Tank alone is not going to outmass the Lurkers. So that's going to be the biggest problem further down the line now, as Marines push onto the edge of creep spread. Couple creep teamers going down. Bane's trying to move on through. Hydra's wanting to maybe jump on these Marines. They don't go for it yet. On the right side, there's drop being deflected. Reynor is going to start pushing forwards onto this. Yeah, these Marines are still stimming on forward here. Bane's coming through, Ling Hydra pushing. Again, Clem is just going to back it up, because, again, Reynor doesn't need to chase that far. A few Hellbats just sat on this top right watchtower, by the way. There is main base of Clem being relocated, so again, shows you kind of the desperation stage he's in. Vipers are on the way up now as we're making steps towards Lurkers with that seismic spines being built and upgraded. We do see, again, tanks are going to die here. Reynor getting a good chunk of Marines this time as well. So not just resetting the tank count, but slowing the bio count down as well. In the top right, maybe you deny this hatchery of Reynor, but I mean, you're denying a, you know, what, base 6? Well, you're trying to get a 4th base with an orbital. I mean, all it takes is a handful of Zerglings split off for a moment, and boom, this base is in immediate trouble, and you're going to be stopped from mining there until you can send units to deal with that. Which right now, Clem wants to send all of his units onto the front lines and try and keep on pushing, because he knows he's in a position where he can't let this game go on too long, otherwise he's just going to lose out. Reynor has the money to morph Lurkers, and Seismic Spines is so close. I think you just start morphing Lurkers right now. I guess the biggest fear is that you just don't quite have enough here. You got a bit of a surround setting up, wants to bring these units from the right side. As he comes forward, he's going to have an attempt of blinding clouds, but the tank's actually just so far back at the moment. Here we go. I don't even know if we need blinding clouds, so maybe just parasitic bombs on the medevacs. Abducts will do as well. Abducts the double. I don't think he had the energy for parasitic. Otherwise, parasitic might have been nicer overall, but in the moment, grabbing one full medevac was obviously pretty neat too. And again, it just slows Clem down that little bit, stops him from maxing out. Guys, we're getting a couple stutters here and there in the game. I'm going to try to reset my game after this map, just sorry that that's happening. As Lurkers are about to be done here, this was the moment that you had to find a chance to morph the Lurkers in. The Lurkers are going to finish, they're going to burrow slowly. At the same time, counterattack is wreaking havoc on the 3rd base. Thinking this attack of Clem over here is almost all in. He is going to kill the 2 Vipers, consuming too close to the Terran army. 1 parasitic bomb went off, but it's a good quick split from Clem to minimize damage. If only he could have done something about the 23 SCVs lost back at home. He takes an army supply lead, but again, with Lurkers finally on the map, how much does that army supply lead really matter? Because are you ever going to be able to break the defensive positioning of the Lurkers with a 10-15 army supply lead? I don't think so. Not when your army is Marine Tank. If your army was like Ghosts, yeah, sure. Marine Tank, Nice to get rid of those Vipers at least. Adaptive Talon's about to be done, so our Lurkers are about to be even more mobile, speedier at moving, speedier at burrowing, so you can jump on these armies of Clem a little bit more easily as Reynor as well. As we are going to be seeing Lurkers holding off this army from a distance. Nicely done, picking off a good few Marines. Down the bottom side, we fly with these medevacs, aiming for the main base. Clem pulling out all the stops to do whatever he can. A new Viper found as it spawns from that hatchery. You can't get a drop-off into the main, though, so these medevacs are kind of stuck, and maybe now Reynor could relocate more units to just defending the top right side of this map. On the left, I mean, like I say, this is just an orbital, so you get units on this for a moment, and that's just a bunch of dead SCVs, and, well, reinforcements here are going to be shut off as well. There's a lot of tanks, so actually Reynor doesn't want to go running into it, as Marines are really desperately trying to take this hatchery down. Transfusions try and keep it alive. They don't keep it alive. But again, I mean, you look at the damage being done to the Clem economy. and denying what is, a 5th base of Reynor. Yeah, overall it's nice, but when you consider Reynor's still mining and you are, well, not. Yeah, I mean, then there's not much else to be said. 25 SCVs in the game, maybe some mules. These medevacs try and get active again, but there's only 7 Marines amongst the 4 medevacs, so even that is not much of a threat right now. It's not that much to really scare Reynor. I don't think Reynor has any reason to be scared of this. I'll just throw it up over here. A few Marines getting picked away at. Halbat's in trouble. Look, is doing some good damage. I mean, he lost the scan there for a moment, which doesn't help, but not sure would have made the difference as a 65 supply Clem gets overrun on Curious Minds. Reynor held, defended, would not bend, would not break, and finally gets the job done. He played a very patient game. He was winning this game for a long time, and it doesn't seem like that because it's like, oh, Clem's still pushing, Clem's still alive. But he was actually in a really comfortable position for a long time. Awesome and crazy and busy all over again. Right of Altaris, didn't see this one all day. Top left corner of the map. Our blue Terran player from Team Liquid is Clem. Big map? Yeah, you don't say so. It's a 9 base map. 9 base map. Bottom right, our red Zerg player is from Clash, Reynor. So, this map has a 38-second rush distance. That's 8 seconds longer, I believe, than Beckett, for example. 8 seconds. In StarCraft 2, when it comes to a rush distance, is huge. Now, here's another feature of this map that's never been seen on a ladder map before. This is a 4-layer map. High ground, into high ground, into high ground, into low ground. What? Yes, that's never been seen before. 4 different layers of altitude on a StarCraft 2 map. That has just never, ever existed in the past. You know, used to this being like, oh, middle of the map, natural and third, main. Now, then you've got this top layer as well. So yeah, this has never been seen on a ladder map before. And what that means is you've got like an extra layer of defensive high ground. So your main has a defensive ramp, your natural has a defensive ramp, and your third entrance kind of has a defensive ramp as well. The one thing that kind of killed people on this map is they took this third base in the TLMC, they took this third base a lot, and they defended like here. And people just ran up this ramp and like ran through this choke and killed them because they were like sat here waiting for the fight to come in from over here. But in theory, everything points to this map being the absolute macro map of the new map pool. Like, this is the map where if it comes out in PvZ, you better have yourself some snacks and a drink because it's going to be like an hour plus probably, you know what I mean? This map is going to be long. And that's the only worry I have of it, that this map is going to give us like a lot of 30 plus, 40 plus minute games. It's going to delay some tournament schedules, I think. It's going to delay some tournament schedules. Cyril said the 4th and 3rd base protect the natural really well. Yeah, if you get to this base and this base, then there's just no way into the natural, you know? Like, they just cuddle the natural, right? They just wrap around it like, no, my natural expansion, I shall protect you. It's brutal. Like, you can just get a full base real easy. Let's see what happens in this TVZ. This could be a long one between Clem and Reynor unless someone has a different plan of action. Queen feelings just moving forward as the Reaper backs up into the center here. This is one of the coolest center of the maps I've seen. You got the, I believe it's the Spear of Adun. I'm not great on my StarCraft lore for how much StarCraft I talk about, but just kind of chilling beneath the middle of the map. One thing I loved about this map in the TLMC was always its aesthetics. It was really pretty. Really, really pretty. Just simple around the map with some cool deco. It was like an oracle being built over here, and There's like a weird-ass pylon thing over here. For the middle of the map, I really thought was stunning. Like, just super cool to look at. Long games are exciting with back-and-forth shenanigans. I don't disagree with that. I'm just worried about the games where each player takes 5 bases, and everyone's like, we didn't even make it to the low ground yet. You know what I mean? And just nothing happens. So that's my only concern about it being in the map pool. I'll be very interested to see how it turns out. Barracks and engineering base coming up as we take our third CC into position, and Clem just setting himself up into a very standard setup off the back of what is the Hellion Raven. I wonder if because the map's so big he likes the Raven. Just add a bit of harassment onto these queens, really try and work through creep in so many different directions. Not actually getting the creep tumors yet. The queens are doing a good job defensively. The problem is, so far, the queens have always been up a ramp, so you've always had to run up a ramp to stop the creep. So the creep spread's able to get to the middle of the map, all up a ramp, and now finally it's going to move down a ramp. Whoa, this creep tumor is floating. You guys see this? Holy crap. The creep tumor has a shadow! It's a fake creep tumor! They break over here as well? Oh, they look normal. Clem is like desperately trying to find a way in with these Hellions. It just ain't happening, guys. Jeez, he cannot find anything so far. Well, Marines are going to come out into the center, try and stem through and get on top of these queens. Into the middle we go, grabbing a couple of creep teamers here already. As the Raven doesn't necessarily need to scan. It took Reynor 6.5 minutes to get creep to the middle of the map. And that'll be pushed back in one fatal swoop from this Terran force. At least a little bit. Queens have plenty of energy to restock on that. Gonna build a Spire. It's a massive map. Mutas are probably gonna be amazing here. Obviously, mutas don't care so much for all the different layers of play, so it's also something to think about. All the ramp teams look busted? Oh, they kind of do now. You just don't see it as well from this angle, right? These queens are going to get a medevac kill, which is great. The one Reaper still just in the center. He's like, I got this, guys. I'm going to get a Baneling. He actually killed a Baneling, right? I actually think he shot that down. 1-1 is done. The mutas are pouring out, and there's the 1-1 advantage for Clem. And it will be for a while because Reynor prioritized the lay, prioritized the Spire and the Bane speed. So his upgrades were kind of a bit more of an afterthought this time around. The Artosalope, by the way, to the top side here. Chilling on Pride of Altaris as we go on through and get rid of a little bit more creep spread. Clem trying to find an access point right now in game 2 of this best of 7 as he trails by 1. Widowmine shot is big onto the Zerglings to get rid of an Overlord. We clean out some more creep. On the left side of the map, we have got the mutas trying to dive for a main and the natural. So in we go. A couple of SCVs being picked away at. This is just going to be seeing the army continuing through the center. Down we go. 7 SCVs dying as the mutas really are putting the pressure on Clem. Reynor has a ton of money, like 1,000 minerals to spend. If he can spend them 1,000 minerals, obviously life would be a little bit better for him. He is in the main base, applying some pressure. We get a Marine picking away at the reactor. More Marines pushing through here and trying to get that Queen. Will get that Queen. Widowmine shot for a few Zerglings as well. Nicely done so far as these Baneling just about connecting. And a couple of Marines there. Man, there's Widowmines all over and they're actually getting good connections. Now they're starting to get... How did this one hit? Okay, well, they're starting to connect here, there, and everywhere. There's a few Marines in the main. Mutas in the top side are going to be putting some pressure on. Reynor just needs to spend his money, man. If 1,700 minerals gets turned into Zerglings right now, you're talking about a, you know, what, like 60 lings? Imagine those added to the map. That would help. It's going to be seeing a couple more drones going down. The army in the center here from Clem pushing down through the middle of the map down to that south side. We're going to grab a couple of Marines. And that one medevac gets picked off here as well. So that is targeted down. We do get through. We're picking off our creep teamers. It's a lot of creep spread getting cleaned out. On the right-hand side, we've got Queens pressing forwards. We've got creep spread continuing through. And in we go as we get rid of a whole bunch of creep right now. Big scan. Gonna get rid of all of this. Can we actually do something with this continued push, though? I mean, the problem is for Clem, reinforcing takes what feels like an eternity on this map. Right now, 2-2 against 1-1, though, so the trade should be okay for him. There's a lot of units in the center. Does he want to bring them up this ramp, or what does he want to do? It looked like he was starting to split them down over here, and maybe that's where we end up. He's done a great job of pushing the creep back to pretty much just in front of the bases, apart from this path up here, but that's not really much of an attacking pathway, so that doesn't matter as much. Widowmine's not doing enough soon enough, basically, right there, as Peter's coming back in. Gonna try and get a depot, just about gets it. And through the bottom side, the Lings are gonna go running across as well. Widowmine's cleaned out in the main. Clem's actually supply blocked, as they're gonna be losing, I mean, just again, structures in the main base. Add-ons being taken down. Randall's still stuck on Ling Bane Muta, if you want to call it stuck. But he's still on Ling Bane Muta here. As you just see the Marines continue to back away through the top. Muta's chasing after the Marina Marauder. Thor shot coming through and just connecting on a few more middleists as the Lings try to wrap around, but off creep the Marines obviously going to be able to stand their ground. Clem getting ready to move towards the 5th base. A 5th hatchery from Reynor down on the south side of the map. Getting established as well. This Raven, by the way, is just like chilling in like dead airspace. Hasn't sent a Muta to deal with it as he picks up a bunch of drones. Surely now, this Raven has said its final goodbye. 21 kill Raven is forfeit to the Mutas. Well, it put on more pressure than expected, to be fair. I didn't expect the Raven to do that well. And been wanting to run through. Marines splitting up a little bit. Connecting on a lot of these Marines initially. Thors taking some damage. Muta's trying to dive on in on this. The Thors drop back down. Lift up, drop down. Bane's still rolling through in the center of the map. Mutas get rid of the Thor. The Banes are crashing into everything, I want to say. Reynor just has so many Banelings. If you can keep these Marines running away with the Banes, what he's going to be able to do here as he blows up these mines is chase the medevacs with the Mutas, and that would be amazing if you can kill off these medevacs. Can't quite get there as he will stop, slow it down. Comes back over here for a little bit of a cleanup. A leftover Widow Mine gets cleaned out. Oh yeah, does this map, by the way, so actually something I forgot about this map, you might have noticed, I believe, and I don't know if this is true 100%, but I'm pretty sure, I just got reminded by that Widow Mine. This map doesn't have like super low gravity, like 2,000 atmospheres, but it does have lower gravity than usual. So while bodies don't float to the surface and like fly up to your screen, and that's a kill with 2 Marines on a hatch, they do actually have like different physics to usual, which you might notice here and there. This gun comes down, a bunch of creep spread being picked away at. It's continuing through. Good amount of creep being cleaned out. These Mutas on the left-hand side going for a missile turret or so. Couple turrets going down, turning onto this planetary fortress. Well, SCV's being picked off. Topside, Bane's rolling out of planetary as well. SCV's pulled back there, gonna get back to repairing. The Mutas into the main base, getting a turret. Couple of Widow Mines burrowing up. One goes down, the other connects on an Overseer. Over here, Banes are into a mineral line, and I mean, just the fact these Mutas are back being aggressive again. Turning out pretty fantastic as that +3 armor. About halfway done for Clem, something he doesn't have yet. I'm talking about +3 upgrades. 3-3 from Reynor is now on the way. This map has done a fantastic job of giving us an entertaining back and forth game so far, but I can't help but feel that Clem has never really found a meaningful fight in Reynor's territory. Because that's another kill on this hatchery. Right side, this hatchery is just doomed to never be cancelled, apparently. As Mutacan taking some shots. More meters coming through. Hive Tech ready. Do we just play Ultras on this map? Yeah, it's massive. So can we play Ultras? Maybe. I feel like it's a reasonable choice as our Lings run up top side and gonna go grabbing this planetary. SCV is in some trouble, getting blown up. The Lings are gonna kill this planetary fortress off, so that's a big kill. Fifth base of Clem not allowed, and now he's got a base here which is being forced to lift up at least. He gets it low. Another CC moving over as I think a couple Banes just were still there and SCVs just got blown up. I'm not sure. This game's getting chaotic. Ling Bane around the left, Ling Muter around the top, just gonna run on in. Whew. Overseer and Ling's taking some shots right there. As you're rolling through, Ling Bane wrapping around this planetary fortress. Planetary taking a beating, that's for sure. Because we are going to see this planetary fortress going down, down, down. So it will fall. I mean, Clem's got to push across the map, which is scary. 3-3 against, about to be 3-2. Reynor's morphing in 30 Banelings, though. Those 30 Banelings need to start clearing this out. Clem basically has nothing left at home. His bases are being ransacked. He has 24 SCVs. This army basically has to win him the game as he needs to find a way to trade with these Banelings effectively. But now the Mutas are coming back too. Reynor just needs to clean this army out, and he definitely seems to know it. Banes will chase all the way. The Thor's being killed. I mean, there's just so many medevacs for Clem too. So much of his army is made up of healers and not attackers. He's now trying to reinforce a little bit, but I think Reynor has the edge here in this second game. That was split away in that Mutalisk. That was cute. 17 minutes here on Pride of Altaris. Reynor looking hot to take a 2-0 lead in the best of 7. Lings want to run up the ramp. The Marauders are there to push the Lings back down. Still seeing these couple of Widow Mines continuing through as well. Those Lings trying to escape away. The Mutas will dive in for one Widow Mine kill. Another one gets picked up. This medevac is blown up. It's been kind of a crazy game. Bane's rolling in. Clem's still trying to fight. His army supply is still up there, but he really has like nothing left when it comes to the game being able to rebuild. And these medevacs are being chased from a far way away, and they're going to run out of boost energy. Lings are there to chase the Marines, and now you've got Mutas killing medevacs off. That's a problem. A lot of medevacs going down. The Banes are still arriving as well. There's a Widow Mine here that goes onto the Mutas, not the Overseer. If it hit the Overseer, that might have splashed for quite a few kills on Marines. Doesn't happen. I like what Reynor did with this map. Really felt like he played to its strengths. And you know what's crazy, guys? We've had such an epic game on it, and yet we've had multiple bases in the middle and the corner that haven't even been touched. This is a gold base. This game's been crazy enough we didn't even get to mention that one of these bases down here is a gold. Like, let that do the talking for you. This is going to be like a Muta ZvZ map where you take this gold base early with Mutalisks. Absolutely. Going to be a fun one to watch. As long as it always gets vetoed in PvZ, I'm okay with it, guys. Lings want to run in the top side. 2 Lings get hit already. SCVs protected by these mines. Mines are doing work over here. 19 kills in total. They've protected that mineral line a few times. Reynor's like, I'm going to kill engineering bays. I guess you can stop turrets coming up. Kill the armory, stop the mines from being cloaked. That's cute. Gonna see a bigger force from Clem around the right now. Still somewhat up there in army supply. Resources lost 30k to 36k. Not even that bad for Reynor. As the Lings run in over here, Reynor will lose actually a good chunk of economy. A lot of Lings going down before Banes arrive. In fact, the Bane count in general just not good. Reasonable fight from Clem, but how do you fight the Ultras with basically just Marines? If you find the answer to that, Ultras really do become the most useless late game tech unit for the Zerg. Things coming up, grabbing a Marine. Ultras are going to chase this army down. Widowmine's positioned as... I mean, there's no cloaking on them anymore as well, right? So you can just clean them up, Overseer or not. Continuing through, Widowmine's going to unburrow. Ultras come in. A lot of Widowmines being picked off. Ling, Ultra chasing on forward. We've got Bane's going to roll up this ramp. These Ultras are going to get up this ramp, and yeah, I mean, this is basically game, right? Oh, look, there's another ramp, guys! 4 layers! Perfect for defending and holding on when you're basically dead. He's just got so many ramps to hide up. Another one! Another ramp! How high can we go? 20 supply from Clem. I'm going to say that's a pretty good time to consider typing the GGs. And Clem is going to agree. 21 minutes for Pride of Altaris. Reynor takes game 2 of our best of 7. I feel like I really just nailed the seeding. Considering it as a grab and drop situation a few minutes before the match just started. I'm content with the seeding performance. Is this the mug with the bug on it? What, slowly? Oh, the map with the bug. What bug? I was looking at my mug and I was like, it's definitely not got a bug on it. I don't know which bug you mean, because that's very non-specific, you know? Clem down 0-2. And this best of 7 entering game 3. This has Mulan on it? Yes, it's a Mulan mug. All of our mugs nowadays are pretty much Disney mugs. That's what I learned when I moved in with my girlfriend. Some tank spot? No, it's not this map. It's on Hardwire. You can put 2 tanks on the Reaper jump up ramp. My favorite Wardi accent is when he says again. The pronunciation is great. Again? I feel like I'm not saying it the way you want me to. Because I feel like if I say it properly, I'm saying it again and again. But a lot of the time I might say it again and again. Again and again, you see these things going on again and again. That's actually one of those things that I never really noticed I said differently, but actually I do. Again versus again. A bit different, isn't it? I guess I do say once again a lot. Once again a lot. Yeah. Now I don't know which one I say, actually. I'd be mind-boggled. Sometimes my accent slips through. My accent is pretty neutral, to be fair, just... Sometimes slivers of it slip through, especially pieces of it I never knew were kind of showing, you know? I say again more often. I don't even know which one's weird anymore. You guys are I'm completely broken. I don't understand anymore. Amazing, guys. I have no idea how to speak my words anymore. Apparently my accent is Cockney. Mate, my accent is so far from Cockney, you would be shocked if you hear it. Cockney is like, Cockney is very, well, it's like Southern British. I'm Northern. My accent is officially Geordie, but it's a very, very weak Geordie. I've removed a lot of it. But if you ever hear me talking to people from where I live, I use a lot of... I put a lot more northern in my voice. It would probably shock you guys, actually. Armory's coming up. We are going to hellbat the crap out of Reynor here in the next few moments. Let's see if his preparation will be good enough, as there's a Liberator as well. So a hellbat lib attack. A little different. In a while. It's going to be seen how Hellions will go on the left side. Here comes the medevac showing up. Again, Liberator is not ready yet. This medevac really just like dropped straight on top of all of this. Reynor is not really prepared, to say the least, as these Hellbats show up and will push back a lot of these Queens. Medevac boosting back, healing getting done, keeping the Medevac alive as long as possible. Now, how many Queens get saved? They only lose one? I mean, if you get away with everything here as Clem, well, now he re-engages. He does get another Queen, okay. So he's getting some extra damage now. And there's still only Zerglings, so these extra couple Hellbats helping out a lot to keep this going for just that little while longer. He only killed one extra Queen, though, and like 6 more Lings. That's insane. That entire extension of the fight killed 1 more Queen and 6 more Lings, and it cost him 5 more Hellbats or something. Like, that was crazy. Liberator shows up, though, and that's why he's still doing this, because he wants the Liberator to become a distraction when the Queens were not ready for it. So, in that regard, he actually does pretty well. He puts the Reaper in the main as well, trying to distract Reynor every which way. Few Marines coming through and just going to be pushing up this ramp. The Hellbat's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Queens do push them back down the ramp and out of there. Liberator is sieged and is probably going to get a second Queen here. Just gets out of range. Drones go back in range. Didn't get another shot, though. Dead Liberator now. Wardi, what's the higher form of English? Like the Royals? What do you call their accent? I think we call it posh. I don't know what accent. I honestly have no idea. You guys are asking questions that are way out of my depth. What I do know is that Liberator is able to get a few more drone kills here as our Hellions work to the right-hand side, and we'll pick away at a couple more creep teamers already. So able to pick off a few more of those. Hellions escaping around out to that right-hand side. And that Liberator of Clem just gonna be able to sit behind the main base. Hang around a little bit. Our Hellions still moving around, trying to see what may happen. Hellions work their way down the south side. Hydra's done building in the main base of Reynor. These Marines of Clem still heading down south. Obviously just trying to back this all up a little bit. Been an interesting kind of opening with the Hellbat attack that really extended for a while. Resources lost is even. Reynor has made it to 70 workers kind of comfortably. No Baneling speed right now, though. And Clem actually built more Hellions, which means he's got some Hellbats to tank a few Banes as well. And there's only 4 Banelings morphing. I actually think Clem is going to find Reynor in a lot of trouble here soon, but Clem is, I feel like, almost disbelieving of how little Reynor has. If he can deal with these few Banelings, he can't though, can he? He's going to have to abandon the Hellbats. They will go down all at once. One medevac's low, so he'll just settle for a drop in the corner of the main. We'll find a way out in the end. This Liberator is still being annoying throughout as well, so keeping up with this. Really nice from Clem, just showing kind of how good he can be at that multitasking, continuing to poke in again and again, continuing to try and make whatever work he can with so few units. As we get down the right side, we're going to get an overload. We're going to get a bunch of creep tumors. So a lot more of this creep just getting cleaned out. Wouldn't mind shot. Ooh, splashes onto the medevacs. Nothing meaningful, right? But you know, fun. A little bit of damage. Don't even know if it was kind of on purpose. As Reynor again. I mean, we've had this issue a few times today. mineral count is stacking up. As Queens do come through, they pick off one medevac. One thing Reynor's kept this game is really creep well in front of his bases, so he's got good space to work with. Obviously, this one appears a little bit separated, but things we'll get here still to protect it is that's base number 5. We'll get a couple of spore crawlers up to help deny some of the medevac movement around that area. Not if they get killed, though. Good drop play from Clem. Send up for the larger attack on the left. Again, Reynor playing these Hydras. A few Queens are trying to move through just a little bit. Ling's a Bane coming on forward. Hydras and Queens pushing through as well. Marines drop back over on the right-hand side. Marines trying to see what they can do on the left. Bane, Hydra, Queen continuing up this ramp as our Ling Bane goes back down the right-hand side, and a good bit of back and forth at the moment here between Clem and Reynor. One bailing there, nearly going down, not quite though. Widowmine shot onto the first group of Lings and onto a Hydra, not that crazy. Reynor is holding on the left. Still just that Liberator in the corner here. Now this group on the right will get active from Clem, but banelings immediately. Well, those mines did not get a chance to fire. Obviously, the next one's got burrowed up, but that was good from Reynor. He was ready for Clem to move up this ramp, and he responded immediately to it. Yeah, Reynor's really got a kind of a good style going for himself today, I say, as these Banes do get hit by a Widow Mine. It feels like he's really got some of this Clem pressure sussed, able to really hold it off, really able to stop a lot of it happening. Not letting Clem kind of steamroll through or kind of snowball a lot of this game, you know. That's a Widow Mine shot going off, but that's obviously split away from nicely. He'll camp out in the center here and not let these Widow Mines get away. Sitting on them so he can kill them as soon as he gets an Overseer there. And now he's actually chasing forward. Can he split? No, he's going to back it up. He doesn't want to fight too far if Creep. He knows the dangers of that. Infestation pick coming through. We're looking towards our later game transition. Obviously, generally here, you want to start thinking about a Lurk Den with your Hive. Obviously, even just getting up to 3-3 in Adrenal Glands can be very useful as this Ling Bane continues to trade out a lot of the time. Reynolds now decided this is maybe the time for him to swarm. He comes in from the other side, but the Widow Mine protects. Talk about Widow Mines having your back, definitely helping there, but that Widow Mine hits the medevacs. And this base has to lift up. Now, is Reynor going too far forward? He's still splitting from these mines and just letting them hit the Terran army. Wow, talk about one killer blow. Reynor's on fire tonight, guys. All night long, he's been playing some amazing ZvT. I've loved his army movement. I've loved the direction he's been attacking in and the way he's been executing these attacks. Oh my god, the mines are killing more Terran than Zerg. And I think Reynor actually just beat Clem with, like, with Widow Mines, actually. I think Reynor used mines. Turns out mines are pretty good if they fight. Hey guys, I'm from the UK. I'm from northern England. Can I do a British accent? Is that not what I'm talking in now? If my accent is not British, then what is it? I'm British, so this entire conversation's been continuously hilarious. I know, because people who are from England can actually tell which city in England I'm from. Not just region, like they can tell which city I'm from. Even between two cities that are like a 10-minute drive from each other. Like, that's how good people can be with British accents. So for British people listening to this, they're probably like, what the hell are you guys on about? But then from everyone else, they're like, wait, Wardi's from England? Like, oh my god. I totally thought he was like American. PP from Clem, who's down 0-3 in this series. Northern English is barely intelligible. Yeah, but it depends. Just because it's not thick doesn't mean I don't have the tendencies of my, of my local dialect, right? I have a lot of tendencies in my voice, so even though it's not, just because it isn't thick doesn't mean it's not there, you know? Wardi's Californian accent. Nah, yeah. I gotta get the upward inflection at the end of the words. I just can't do it very well. I have a northeastern accent, guys. Northeast England. But could I do a Canadian accent? Yeah. Sorry. 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 If only Slowly Fallen was sorry when she didn't didn't get me my Eevee jacket. I just wanted it for months and months and they refused to buy it for me. Forever sad.
Game resumed.
The game resumes. Clem in the top right, down 0-3. Match point for Reynor in the bottom corner. Ooh, if I'm Clem, I don't know how much I want to fight back from 0-3 down against Reynor. That's tough to win 4 in a row. It's gonna be really tough. My accent is hardly Geordie. Well, that's what it is, though. It's exactly what it is. It's just not thick. Now, if you heard me talking to, like, even my girlfriend, or like, say, if I get into, like, a bit more of a northern conversation, and then my tongue slackens, and I sink back into my own ways, I'm like, ah, yeah, man. It's Kush, though. Oh, our way. Okay, I'm not that bad. It's really weird, because now I'm, like, trying too hard to put it on, right? Because I'm trying to think about it. You know it was Heavy Geordie? I think there's just a lot of tendencies. You know, one of the things I never realized, I probably told this story 100 times on stream, but when I went to university, one of my like flatmates or whatever, they asked me, "Why do you say is instead of me?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" And they're like, "You say is instead of me." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Why would I? What are you on about? I would never say that." And they're like, "You literally say it all the time." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean I say is instead of me?" They're like, "Yeah, you just said like, hey, can you pass us the sauce?" Instead of, can you pass me the sauce? And I was like, what? And I was like, can you pass us the sauce? I was like, oh my god, I do. And I was like, what? They were like, yeah, you've been saying this for like 3 months. I was like, what? And I had no idea. But like in my head, I just had no idea I was saying that, you know? In my head, I was just completely... I just thought I was saying, pass me the sauce in a nice accent. Apparently, I'm just being a proper little, like, pass us the sauce, mate. And I had no idea. Like, when they mentioned it to me, I was completely clueless. I just completely clueless that I was doing it, you know? I was just like, yeah, God, you're really right. I just had no idea. Been saying that for like 21 years until well, it wasn't 21 years, 17 years until someone pointed out to me, jeez. Alright, this game starts off 3CC and then into a Banshee follow-up. Overlord gets in for the full scout. Doesn't look as though Clem's going to change up anything about it just yet, though. It's going to be seeing our Hellions join up into the center, having the units move around this right-hand side. So joining together, a couple of evolution chambers early in this game from Reynor, going to bypass that earlier lair option which he's been using, and especially when he's playing against Banshees, that's a bit more dangerous, because it will leave some openings where you just maybe don't have Spore Crawler coverage, and you're not going to have mobile detection for a while. So that's obviously a big deal. Aliens escaping back up to the top. 1-1 melee upgrades coming in from Reynor. A few extra Zerglings continuing to come on through. And a couple of barracks, engineering based. I mean, everything just as we kind of expected to be. Reynor will have that minor upgrade lead just because he went straight to double evolution chambers, while Clem, obviously, just kind of normal timing on his engineering base. Again, it just kind of, accentuates the speed at which Reynor has gone into his own upgrades, as these Hellions are really trying to dive. That ain't good. I mean, they're taking some queen fire while the Banshees are just wailing away on these queens. So that's like every single Hellion dead for 2 drones in this game now, 17 lings. Well, you do see the queens getting chased around. Like I say, no overseers, so you're kind of reliant on the Spore Crawlers, which are just not in range. One Banshee runs out of energy. Only 1 queen died, though. Like, a lot of damage was done. These Banshees will do a little bit more now, but they are going to... Well, one of them is dead, right? Oh, but that's the one with Cloak, so it actually gets away. And not bad play on the Banshees. Definitely makes up for the Hellions, which diving by did not really find too much to begin with. Things want to jump on this siege tank, and we do see the Marines showing up. Gonna clean out a bunch of them. The Lings into this natural expansion. Gonna just fight. The SCV's gonna clean it up as well. And just gonna be seeing the Marines continuing to pour on out. Again, the 1-1 upgrades continuing up here as well. Okay, I mean, decent defense of the counter. Again, look at that money from Reynor. Yeah, there's 2 hatcheries building, but 1,000 minerals, 600 gas in the bank. So far, I wouldn't say he's really been losing any games because of the these, stacking of minerals and gas, but, well, it's a possibility, right? And right now, he's actually getting a fantastic catch, denying these reinforcements. Now, Queens are fighting the Medivacs and Marines alone. Took a step forward to start targeting the Medivacs down. That's when Clem lifts and leaves. 2-2 upgrades already started from Reynor. He's going to have a little 2-2 versus 1-1 timing for sure, as catching a few more Marine kills there. Into the Hydralisk Den we go once more. That's been a repetitive action pretty much throughout the day. Things run up and the Marines will load into the Medivacs. Around the side of the map we go. Is just going to come on forward. Marines starting to fight. Queens will start to take some damage. Ling's still dying on the left-hand side. Hatchery's going to get picked off, so Clem is going to get a kill. I don't know if Reynor was super sad about losing the hatchery on the left-hand side. Dragon Claws is still on the way with the 2-2 upgrades. Like I say, it'll be interesting to see what Reynor can do when he gets his own 2-2. He's been able to take some really good fights so far today, Reynor. If he can take some good fights with 2-2 against 1-1, that could be deadly. His army movement has been absolutely top tier today. It's been brilliant to watch as he's moments away from Bane speed. This next set of Banes will get Bane speed if he lives that long, which he will. Forces this lift up now. And, well, he's actually going to get on top of these 2 tanks. I was wondering where that damage was coming from. The tanks up over here, I mean, they are just abandoned, essentially. As Reynor is down on supply, Clem's still pushing. Just getting an extra set of racks up as his 4th base lands. Of course, Reynor denied the 5th. It's a pretty sizable problem. It's one of those things which he definitely didn't want to have happen as Banelings crash in for the Marine kills. Down the right-hand side we go. Lingbane Hydra with the Queens. Trying to fight. The Medivacs coming through as well. Healing up what they can. Big lift up again. This is where 2-2 is versus 1-1, but doesn't look like Reynor will do much with it. Starting his missile upgrades now, as he will focus a little bit on these Hydras. I wonder when he pulls the trigger on the Infestation Pit and aiming towards that later game with the Hive. You've got a fifth command center already built, so Clem's comfortable to keep on expanding here. He seems to be confident to just take this kind of base by base and just to keep the macro game going. A few Widow Mines over here. If you can get those to set off nicely. He's trying to just set off a bunch at once. Oh my goodness, it's getting scary. Reasonable splits away, to be honest. He's got a drop in the main. He's going to fly out via a Spore Crawler. Has the boost, though, so it's not going to be super deadly. As Reynor, I think, was winning out on this right-hand side. Really is just pushing it back again. What's resources lost at? Only a couple thousand difference. Reynor's down on drones, though. So he's actually trading worse, and he's mining less. Only 69 workers. Nice. But not nice enough. 80 SCVs from Clem, and that's going to be where this game breaks down for Reynor. He needs what he needs right now, I think, for Reynor. One massive fight. You come in from multiple angles, you like collapse in on the army, you kill it, and you just run across the map and you stop the reinforcements from getting up. I don't think you can win this in another way right now. I mean, stuff like this obviously is cute. Nice snipe potential on this full medevac. Gets a second one that's half full. Uh-oh. That's a beautiful catch from Reynor. Great move with the Hydras. We've got one half-ish full medevac left over. After that, Widow Mine's helping the Zerg again. Can Widow Mine stop switching teams today, please? Some of these Widow Mine shots against the Terran have been disgusting. Mine's burrowing in the gap there. Makes it difficult to kind of deal with, but they do go down. The Liberator dealing good damage. Reynor backs away from the Lib fire. Oh, was already in it, though, so was already taking some shots there. Now trying to deal with this drop back on the left-hand side. Clem being kept so busy. He's had an eternity to start 3-3, and he's just not been able to, so not improving his upgrades as he usually might. Hive is on the way now from Reynor. A couple of Vipers would not go amiss. 3,000 resource loss difference now. Well, 2.5. It's not been that bad for Reynor, but he is still mining less overall. Tell you what, though, his Hydras really aren't dying, right? He's only lost 5 Hydras this game, so he's keeping up the more important units. And that should help him to stabilize a little bit in these fights. Clem getting some final shots as he pulls back. Over on the left, Marine's going for a Queen. Gonna get pushed back. The medevac super low HP, but just gets out alive. Fire Force still pushing through. Widow Mine gonna get picked off as well. As you see our next Widow Mine shot. That one did land a little bit actually in the Zerg army. I feel like we're not used to seeing that right now. Bane's trying to get forward. Lurker Den about to get up. Do you guys think if Reynor gets Lurkers up, he can stabilize here? I know Clem's going to have a Ghost Academy ready. I know he's going to be able to produce Ghosts. But can the Lurkers just slow the game down enough to give Reynor that little bit of a fighting chance here initially? I think it might. He's been doing a good job of holding on with Lingbane Hydra, and I know he's down on supply at the moment, but we've all seen Lurkers change games, right? Just getting the feeling this might be one of those games, because it really feels like Clem is being kind of stopped dead at this watchtower. And that's not a terrible thing per se. Obviously, this is on the edge of creep, so this is a good place for Reynor to stop fighting, and it's a good place for Clem to stop fighting as well, right? He doesn't want to go much further than this, so it makes sense that this is where the duel is happening. You can see Reynor's a bit desperate to get to Lurkers. 5 morph in, and obviously Seismic Spines isn't done yet, so that's really kind of like a statement of like, hey, I really need to get these Lurkers up and running, right? As the group of Hydras is just fighting on their own. Whoops, got smacked by Hydra Corpse in our face. Blink counterattack, splits from one Widow Mine. Nice block! And just get some damage done there. There's still a Widow Mine over here. No, make that another. This one actually unburrows, reburrows. Things will get the better of that Widow Mine trade in the end. So I don't even know if it's the better, as another one goes off and the defensive mines are just slaying Zerglings. Clem is trying to find a pushing direction up one of these ramps and into the bottom left corner. Lurkers burrow. Fling Hydra chases the army away. Around the left-hand side we go. A couple Lurkers burrow up. We do abduct in a Liberator. That gets shot down. Bane still wanting to move through. A couple more Lings getting picked off, and just going to be seeing 3-3 upgrades. Going to be finishing in a few moments as well. So again, that 3-3 finished. Just going to be seeing those Lurkers pushing back the Bioforce. I mean, the Lurkers, sorry, are going to get Reynor maxed out properly for the first time in a long-ass time. He's not been maxed in a freaking eternity. So he finally gets to be maxed out. Obviously, this space is a stretch, though, and I know he kind of needs it. But, I mean, you're off creeping all sorts. First Ghoster here as well. Got to split well against these Zerglings for sure. Against these Widowmines for sure. With those Zerglings, Reynor's just kind of pulling the trigger button. He's just going to go. I mean, he forces the lift off, so he could maybe kill some bases up here. Stop this planetary morphing in. That should be liftable, of course, but Clem maybe busy elsewhere. Not quite able to get there. And there's other CCs around. This one's about to finish. This one can go to the right side. It's important that Reynor stops some of these bases. He doesn't have a lot of creep, though. The lack of creep is definitely a pain at the moment, as it's a nice split with Parasite Bomb going down on that medevac. Those goes are so tempting just to jump on their low HP. Honestly, Clem's medevacs have been healing like crazy. Reynor's just going to go for it. Oh, the Widow Mine on the Lings, dead center. We'll see us setting off most of the other Widow Mines, but that one that goes off hits so many Zerglings. Lurkers on the right side are going to back away before the Ghosts get here. And now we can maybe run some Banes into this mineral line. And these Lurkers, they could maybe go to that right side base. Oh, he's going to go back over here. He's just trying to be tricky with his movement. As he actually gets a Ghost kill here, doesn't let the Ghost get too much done. The Hydras are stopping the snipes, protecting these Lurkers for ages. Oh my goodness, the Ghost can't get snipes off. Lurkers over here causing chaos as well. I mean, just shutting down production, hitting bits and pieces of everything that's around. Ghost getting hurt. I mean, that's just not being dealt with at all. Finally, these last few Lurkers up here going down. Clem and Reynor, 170, 160 supply. My goodness, Reynor is playing freaking incredible to keep this game going. There's a few Ghosts that are just chilling here. If these Lings just run on those Ghosts, I mean, those are free pickups. They're just out on their own. They're going to go down. I mean, these are the losses that Clem can't afford right now. Oh, they get away to the Planetary Fortress. There's not really a way to deal with the Planetary right now. Finally, these Lurkers are dealt with, but guess what's over here? More Lurkers! 30 SCVs just went down. Clem taking some serious economic damage at the moment. Struggling to stabilize against a Reynor who is really just taking the game into his own hands. I'd say he's honestly playing absurdly aggressive. But it's really working out. Oh my goodness, he's actually going to win the game. It feels like he played so aggressively that he just... Clem was like, what the hell are you doing? And it worked. It worked. Clem's not got the economy. I don't know if the game's over. It felt like maybe he had an army, but I feel like he's just lost momentum.